Welcome to Phools, everyone. I'm here with McKylan Rowe.
Yo, what's up? I don't know why I started with yo. That's embarrassing. Can I take it again? Oh, no.
Yeah, take it again.
Yo! Oh, shit.
Shit. And Kyle Dunshie.
Hello, a normal hello to the people. Very normal hello. Happy to be here.
Welcome, boys. If you're new to the show, here's how it works. We read books so you don't have to, and then we tell you about the book so you can do all the important things you need to do, like raising your kids, other people's kids. You just take care of and provide for those kids no matter how many people have to die.
So you could also do it while eating a bowl of Post Raisin Bran while you're raising your kids. Is that a good bit? That was so bad.
Oh, Raisin Bran.
Well, because he said...
Oh, by the way, today we got a new
Raising your
sponsor.
kids.
Phools, brought to you by Honey Bunches of Oats.
Oh, I wish.
Hell
That's
yeah.
a
I
dream
forgot
come
to tell you
true.
guys. So, Kyle, we have to cut that Raisin Bran thing. You're going to really piss off our sponsors.
Yeah, cut the Raisin Bran. Honey Bunches of Oats all the way. No one likes Raisin Bran unless you're an 8-year-old man with nothing going on.
Yeah, and Honey Bunches of Oats, they're pretty brutal. The cereal game is a pretty brutal game. There's a lot of insider business, and I know Captain Crunch has killed at least 2 men.
Yeah, whistleblowers keep going missing. It's out of control.
Yeah, I've heard that. The the bunny for tricks. They call him the Hillary Clinton of cereal because he keeps having people murdered.
Do you know how Captain Crunch kills his people? Is the cereal cuts the roof of their mouth because it's so damn jagged, but it tastes so good.
Yeah.
That's right. All it takes is one little tiny bit of cyanide in one of those things, and it just gets right into your bloodstream through the roof of your mouth, and you die almost immediately. So
That's
be
good.
careful.
That's dark as shit.
Real talk, my body is probably 70% composed of Honey Bunches of Oats. I don't know if you guys know this. I eat probably 2 bowls of Honey Bunches of Oats per day.
Are you serious?
When I get really anxious, it is the only food that I can eat. Is that cereal?
You're just a Honey Bunch of Oat now.
That's
I am.
amazing.
So whether or not we're actually sponsored by them, we kind of are because my body is so much percent Honey
Runs
Bunches
on
of
it.
Oats.
Wow, I just picked one at random too. That's not even. Why did you choose those?
They chose me, dude.
It's an adult
better
cereal.
cereals.
It's not like he's eating Reese's Puffs or Fruit Loops. He's an adult. He's a grown ass man. He's gonna eat Honey Bunches of Oats. It makes sense to me.
I landed. Thank you, Kyle, for coming to his defense. I landed on Cinnamon Toast Crunch as my adult cereal because it's not too far the other, like it's not too crazy. But sorry, I got a text. It's not too childish.
Glad you're focused, McKylan. Glad you're focused
While
on
I'm
what
talking,
we're doing right now.
I'm like, you know what the best time to take a text message is while you're in the middle of talking.
When you're in the middle of talking and recording a podcast.
Leave it in.
All right, well,
I want
today
people to know who I am. No, Evan, we're not done.
I like Reese's
sorry.
Puffs,
Sorry,
peanut
by all
butter
means,
chocolate
continue.
flavor. I would boof Reese's Puffs if it were allowed legally.
boof 'em?
Hell yeah.
I would boof them.
Boof 'em right
have
up.
them coming in both ways. Please cut
So
that.
you're just trying to get the sugar content, not the flavor.
Not about the flavor.
I just want to know they're in me.
Okay. We can cut that halfway.
Oh,
What?
no,
I-
we're not. We're
you're
definitely
leaving
leaving all of
in.
that. The people need to know what you're boofing. Well, today we're getting spooky again.
We're getting real spooky.
We read very spooky. We read Strange Pictures, a Japanese horror sensation that was recently translated into English so we can read it because none of us read Japanese. The book is by Uketsu, who is an anonymous YouTuber who wears like a creepy paper mache mask and uses a voice changer, so nobody actually knows who this person is or if it's a boy or girl or whatever. So that's kind of fun for a spooky book.
It is spooky. If you look up Uketsu on YouTube, it's a boy. You can tell because of the shape of the
people know.
body. I think we know it's a boy. Well, holy
Well,
crap. These
Kyle.
YouTube videos are scary. I don't speak Japanese. Maybe they'd be less scary if I spoke Japanese, but they are weird. It's bizarre. It's freaky deaky stuff, this Uketsu. And then he also had this really scary book that we read. So
Did you find this scary?
I actually didn't find it scary.
I didn't find it scary in the least. I was panicked when we picked it because I was like, this is going to be like reading The Grudge. And I'm alone right now.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
And so I was like, I'm gonna have to read The Grudge by myself in the dark. This is gonna be a nightmare because I'm gonna be imagining it. That's the scariest part. We should do more horror books because I want to address that part of my brain because like it's so much scarier when you do it to yourself.
Yes. Amazing. Well, I chose this book, and I found it on Reddit. There is a subreddit that I like called Weird Lit, and that popped up, and it was like, hey, it's pictures, and it's scary, and like there's a mystery, and it pieces itself together, and there's this anonymous author, and I was like, you got me. That was 3 things about it that I'm like, now we got to read it, and I'm elated that I did pick it or found it, because I really liked it. I like spooky stuff. There's a part of me that I have recently like just doubled down on, and I'm like, something about it. I like it better. If I would like it normally, make it spooky, and I like it even more.
Oh yeah, spooky's the way to go. I'm a big spook guy. I love the spooky. If I'm bored, I'll put a horror movie on. You're the opposite, Kyle?
I don't like spooky stuff. My father-in-law is like, you want to go play with a Ouija board in the cemetery? And I'm like,
that's different. That's
no.
Weird.
He's like, you want to watch this Korean horror film that's banned in 6 countries? And I'm like, no, I just want to go do normal stuff. Let's go play catch or something like normal father-in-law. I don't know.
The Korean horror movie, fine. The Ouija board, it sounds like he's trying to get you possessed.
He's trying to kill you.
This man has zero fear, and he watches the scariest stuff I've ever seen, and he's coming to my house tomorrow, and I'm gonna have to watch scary shit. So I don't know, less spooky for me, but I'll do it. I'll take the plunge for you guys, as I did this time. Fortunately, this wasn't as bad as I had anticipated, as McKylan said.
Yeah, this is not spooky. This is more akin to like, I would say this is like a good. It's like if HBO Max is trying to get in on that Squid Games money, this would be the thing that they would make. You know, they're like, okay,
That's
the Korean
good.
stuff. They're like, the Asian stuff is going good. This isn't Korean, but you know, it's like an HBO show. It's told in all different story times, and it's non-linear.
Yeah.
Screw it. Put it on us. Put it on there. We could put it on in between White Lotus and The Penguin. Yeah.
Exactly. I do think it was like an especially good NCIS episode, you know?
Yeah.
And I realized that looking back, I was like, yeah, it's just like slightly higher quality than most crime shows, but we'll get right into it. So set in modern day Japan and spanning multiple decades, Strange Pictures is a haunting blend of mystery, psychological horror, and interconnected storytelling. Told through a series of linked short stories, each narrative is grounded in unsettling domestic incidents, eerie illustrations, and cryptic drawings that slowly unveil a tragic, multi-generational web of violence, trauma, and obsession.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
yeah,
it.
the pictures make you think it's going to be something else. But then the pictures are really just a psychological tool.
Yeah, the pictures are a big part, and they're very clever. And Uketsu, whatever the hell you are, is brilliant for the way he put them together. I don't know. I was very impressed. It really felt like a really good mystery story. And at first, the first picture you see is kind of spooky, and then the second one you see, you're like, oh, this is a cute little anime, but then you come to find out it's so much more horrifying than you initially imagined.
Well, my biggest thing was this happens with a lot of stuff, and I might just be brittle and cold inside, but towards the middle, I was like, why are so many people drawing, and why do so many people know how to interpret drawing? Like, it started, like, after, like, the 4th character was, like, poring over a picture, being like, the lines are different. I was like, why would you know about this? Like, there's got, I just needed one character to be like, I don't know, it's a fucking picture. Anyway. Like,
no, I mean, I get what you mean. I like drawing, or I like doing art. I like studying art history. I didn't understand any of this stuff, and it made me feel dumb. I'm like, how come I don't know what this means? And I like this.
The biggest thing, there's one that's very egregious in the why is the picture involved here? There's one very late that I was just like, what the hell? This makes no sense.
Yes, we're going to get into it, but the pictures do play a really big part. Like, this is not an audiobook. And so I don't know why we chose to do it.
Another one. Thanks a lot, man.
Format.
I bought this book twice. I bought this book 2 times. I left one copy, and so I had to buy another copy. I own this book 2 times now.
It's good for you to read, McKylan.
Not the same thing twice. I have 2.
Okay, you shouldn't have 2. That's excessive.
It's true. That's true. But you have to see the pictures to understand the book. There is one picture at the beginning of a little girl standing next to a house with a bird in a tree. We're going to talk about it, but it shows that picture kind of over and over again.
This is a podcast, Evan.
I know, it's a bad idea. I've done a horrible thing. Well, that's so, like, here's the thing. Let's talk about it. I texted you guys.
I didn't think about that either.
I texted you guys, and I was like, hey, for this next book, are you guys down? You have to buy the physical copy because the pictures are, like, an important part. And all three of us, none of us said, yeah, but that's not going to work for our podcast that we do. That's just audio. So that's on all of us.
That never, not once did it cross any of our minds that this is an audio podcast.
I was just excited to read pictures, to do picture books. And you know what? Did we make a mistake? We'll see. Well, the listeners tell us how.
We're going to be
shitty this is.
describing a lot of pictures.
Oh,
today.
I did not think about this until this very moment.
Neither did I.
What did we do?
We're going to be fighting an uphill battle. Thank you for coming along with us. Let's get into the cast of characters.
Honestly, you know, just stick here for the fun and for the vibes.
We'll be here a long time. So we have, oh man, these Japanese names. Shuhei Sasaki.
Shuhei
Sasaki. Shuhei Sasaki, a university student and member of a paranormal club who stumbles upon a long-abandoned blog. And then we have Haruto, a blogger who chronicles his thoughts as he becomes increasingly disturbed by the mysterious circumstances of his wife's death. And we have Yuki. Yeah, let's get some spooky, background music here. Haruto's beautiful and kind wife who dies during childbirth, leaving behind cryptic drawings that hint at hidden truths. Naomi Kono, is it Kono or Kono?
I'd say Kono.
Yeah, Naomi Kono, a down-on-her-luck single mother of a young boy named Yuta. She shields him from the dark past that waits just out of sight around every corner. And Yoshiharu Miura, an art teacher whose gruesome and mysterious death in the 1990s remains unsolved and crucial to the story's deeper mystery. And Shunsuke Iwata, a determined young journalist digging into Miura's unsolved murder case. And finally, Isamu Kamai, a jaded ex-reporter and mentor to Iwata, drawn back into investigative journalism by a maddening series of unanswered questions.
That's great. I doubt any of the listeners, we just said Japanese words. So if you don't speak Japanese, you're not familiar with Japanese names, that's probably going to be hard for you to not see them in print. But they are all very different characters, you racist, just because their names sound the same. How dare you? So I'm just going to call out the racism right now.
They're also super different names, I'm just saying. But this was, okay, so...
They sound similar. There's a lot of U's. There's a lot of... Every person has a U in their name.
Everything ends in a vowel. This was just it was eye-opening to just think about. I spent a lot of time during this book, as I do, because, you know, every book I got to make it about me. I was like,
Correct.
you gotta
put your stamp on it, make it about yourself.
Exactly. And I was really having a tough time because all these people are Japanese.
You're like, but I'm not Japanese. How does this relate to me? I don't live in Tokyo.
There's nothing about our internal life that could be similar. I'm not what you are on the outside.
We don't have anything in common.
We obviously can't be similar. I don't look like you. That's all that matters. But no, there was a lot of those little moments where I was just fascinated by the Japanese, like, to culture. It doesn't really get into culture, but just like there's little things that were just a little different, especially because it's translated. Well, the biggest thing that stuck out to me is because you have, I don't know, we don't have him in here, but like the character that you kind of walk into the book with first, or second, I guess, is like the young guy. The names went in and out of my eyes so hard. But there's the young college kid or whatever at the beginning who kind of like introduces us to this blog. And
Shuhei Sasaki.
Yeah, Shuhei. He's the first character Evan mentioned.
Well, that's why I forgot. It was the first
to
thing
Kyle's
that he said.
point. We just don't. The cast, I think, went in one ear, out the other.
It's not our language, and it's tough to like kind of we're not trying to be like prejudiced or anything. It's just not our language, and it's tough to parse out.
Just like with the Dyatlov incident, we had to deal with 1,000 Russian names.
Yeah.
Everyone was named Yuri, and it was kind of confusing.
But there was a moment when they were like meeting in a cafeteria to eat, And he was like, okay, so we got our food. We had some rice. We had some curry. And I thought about that for 2 pages afterwards. I was like, these people get rice and curry, and it's good enough that they're like, yeah, we got some. Like
Yeah.
I went on a little spiral. That was my real end of the book, as I was just like, oh man, it's so different over there. I bet it's awesome. And
You're like,
I just
I
kind of stuck there.
You're not eating a full-ass hoagie sandwich. What's the matter with you? I can't relate to that. What is
Yeah.
this book about?
The food that your school gives you isn't just a full dry hoagie with one piece of meat and one piece of cheese.
And then just an exorbitant amount of dry Doritos. What is going on here?
What is going on? And sometimes
Cultures
there's
are
a
so
wet
different. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, and you gotta wonder.
I love a wet Dorito. Put it down my gullet. Easy to digest.
one. Yeah, goes down smooth, comes out quick.
Yep.
Amazing. So to recap, just without the Japanese names here, we have a university student who found a spooky blog, a guy who made the blog whose wife died, and he's disturbed by it and records that in the blog. His wife, who dies during childbirth but leaves behind some cryptic drawings, a down on her luck single mother of a young boy, and then an art teacher who was murdered, a reporter who was digging into the art teacher's murder, and the reporter's mentor, who also ends up digging into the art teacher's murder. There we go. That's what we got. We open the book with a chilling case study from a psychologist. So she's teaching a class, and she shares a child's eerie drawing. It's a tree with harsh and pointy branches sheltering a bird. There's a house with no door, and a girl in between the two with a smudged smile. The psychologist shares with the class that the girl who drew this had killed her abusive mother. The psychologist argues that the sharpness of the branches suggests the girl has a violent nature, but the presence of the bird in the tree suggests that the violent impulses stemmed from protection, not malice. So she believes the child can be rehabilitated by nurturing her maternal instincts.
And she's stupid and wrong.
Stupid and wrong. That was
Spoiler alert.
Let me
This
tell
is a
you,
spoiler, but the
Spoiler alert.
psychologist is an idiot.
dead wrong. So bad at her job, she fails at her job immediately. And her job apparently involves staring at pictures, being like, "I bet this means this." Talk to the kid. Talk to that child. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think two conversations in, you'd be like, I don't know, push it in the river.
As someone who's often on the other side of mental health, I like it when psychologists are wrong. And maybe that's just me. But
Why would you like that if you're constantly on the other side of it? Wouldn't you want them to be right?
because then it validates my irrational beliefs and fears. Because then I'm like, see, you can be wrong. So how am I wrong if you're also wrong?
Boom, I'm in. I support you fully in this. Whatever you need.
Thank you. I'll
We're
send
gonna
you a
prove
list
'em all
later
wrong.
of everything I need.
We got this.
Yeah. So we kind of like the psychologist talks about that sort of to introduce the concept of we're going to be looking at pictures and reading into them. And then we move on to the next set of pictures. So in 2014, a university student, Shuhei Sasaki, stumbles across an abandoned blog filled with cheerful updates that abruptly stop after the blogger Haruto's wife, Yuki, dies in childbirth. Years later, the blog receives a cryptic final post. So 3 years pass after Yuki's death, and then there's this cryptic final post that references the pictures that Yuki drew. She calls them visions of the future, but they are drawings of a baby in a Santa hat, a little girl, a woman with windblown hair, a smiling man, and an old woman praying. So she was drawing these one per day leading up to their child's birth and her death. And she kept telling Haruto, these are visions of the future. They didn't know the genders. They were like, this is the child all grown up as a woman. This is the child all grown up as a man. And his cryptic post 3 years after she dies says, I finally figured out what those 3 pictures mean. I can never forgive you. And then the blog shuts down.
It's a mystery. It's a big mystery. And Shuhei and his university buddy want to figure out what's going on because they're in the paranormal club and they like spooky things. And initially, when you read this, you're like, what? Couldn't it be more random? A baby in a Santa hat, boy, a girl, a praying old woman. What is going on? And that's kind of how Haruto feels as his wife is giving him these photos. He doesn't know what's going on, but then we found out he does know what happened, and it's not good.
This is where, okay, this is a perfect way into this of like, I was like, oh, it's like in every movie now where it's like, oh, a blog, or not a blogger, a podcaster, da 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 da, you know? I was like, all right, fine, blogger, it's 2014. Yeah. And this guy likes creepy stuff and like spiritual stuff. Cool, fine. I was like, it just reminded me of like the classic setup in any horror movie you've ever seen where it's like, oh, there's this mystery. Like, I could just see like the college campus. Obviously, it's different because it's, Japanese and I don't have any experience of their college campuses. But like, just like some douchebag be like, oh, hey, what's up, bro? Should have seen that we saw this crazy blog post. Whatever, man. And then the guy's just like in his room studying over it. And it's interesting, but this is the end of like the credibility on the paying attention to the drawings part for me.
Interesting.
You were like, it's enough of that.
Well, but this is like the part where it's like, okay, you set up the teacher, she did it. Okay, the drawings are going to be a part of this, and then this part, it's like, oh, they got to look at these drawings. Okay, of course they're going to like overanalyze the drawings because that's who these guys are. They're like some nerds who love to do this kind of stuff. I can get behind that. I love it. And they figure out some really cool stuff, which we'll talk about in the next one. But after this point, people's focus on the drawings don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, why do you... There's a little bit with Naomi's son where I'm just like, I guess it's a teacher. Yeah, you should care. But then there's like a full 3 pages of just the teacher talking about individual, just going picture by picture. And I was just like, I think we're really losing steam on this picture thing here.
Yeah.
Of making it make sense.
At the heart of this book never gets put together if there's not a lot of people really reading into every time somebody draws a picture. So
yeah, sometimes
maybe Kyle,
doodles. Sometimes doodles, people are like psychoanalyzing other doodles.
Yeah, Kyle, maybe we should analyze some of you said you like to draw, so maybe that's what we're missing here. We just got to get into those drawings. What kind of things do you draw?
Yeah, I've been drawing happier things. If you analyze my drawings from high school, it'd be pretty obvious I was a depressed kid. So
it's not a drawing. It just says, I'm losing my fucking mind.
Exactly. And then like a man with knives
appears
for
to be a
hands or something.
note.
It's just words.
I don't know. I'm going to start overanalyzing drawings now, everything I do. And because that's what people in this book do. Like you said, Mikhail, everyone's overanalyzing every drawing. And thank goodness they do. Otherwise, this would not make any sense. And this book would be very short. You're right, Mikhail, and it would end after this point.
All of the clues are just drawings. And it's kind of... This is just in retrospect. I just finished the book, but I'm just like... As you were reading through that, I'm like, this is the only place that makes sense for them to care as much about any of these drawings as they did.
Let's dive into where it doesn't make sense, aka the rest of the book.
Shuhei pores over the drawings and discovers a hidden message. When aligned and overlaid, the images form a disturbing scene. So he figures out how to rotate them and how to basically hold them at different distances and hold them in front of the sun, and you can see the pictures form a composite. So each picture is layers, and the disturbing scene is a woman's lifeless body with an elderly figure pulling a baby from her womb. So the Santa hat is a gash in her belly, and the woman with windblown hair standing up is actually laying down dead. And the woman praying is actually, pulling the baby out of the woman. So, spookier than initially you thought. The implication is clear. Yuki foresaw her own death and left behind a visual warning encoded in the only medium she had left.
It's disturbing.
It's disturbing. When they were explaining it, of how, because they go through in detail how they get to putting all the pictures in composite. And after that, I was like, why would you come up with the theory that he comes up with?
What do you mean, why would he come up with a theory?
The theory that he comes up with of like, oh, she foresaw her death and there's another person there. I'm like, these are all reaches. I would never have thought that at all.
I wouldn't have either, but it made sense to me. I'm not that Sherlock Holmesian to read into things that much, but as he laid it out, I'm like, okay, that actually makes sense. And then when he lines the pictures up together, they fit perfectly, and you're like, it finally makes sense. Yeah. But then you're right. Then they have these other theories that do feel like a reach. Like
also,
there's a third person.
How did she do that while she's pregnant and dying? How did she come up
brilliant.
with this fucking plan?
Yuki is a badass and brilliant. That's what I've realized.
She's a smarty
No,
pants.
she's not a smarty pants. Call the cops. What are you talking about?
Well,
They
she
talk
talks
about-
about why she doesn't.
Yeah,
Still, it's stupid. That's a dumb reason.
it's not.
I did try to like boxcar children this book where like it would lay it out, and then before it tells the reveal, I was like trying to figure it out. So I read this part again, and I was like, I don't know. Like even after I knew about the composite, I was like, what is going on? But then when they explained it, I was like, oh, I totally missed that because they in the blog it says something about like I was told not to share my real name online.
Yeah,
and so then I told my wife about the blog, and it's like, why would you refer to talking to your wife after you were told? Like, who else told you? And then there's this cake where it's like his wife gets upset with him for eating too much of the cake because there's not enough left for her, and he's like, well, how in order for that to be true, he would have had to cut an odd number of pieces of the cake, and who does that? So there must be, their theory is there's another person living in this house that is like nefarious somehow, hanging in the background.
And it's spooky. And it's like it makes sense as they explain it. We don't have all the actually no, we do have all the information that they had.
There is all
but
the
we just weren't
information,
smart enough to put it together. At least I wasn't.
See, I don't think that's not we weren't smart enough. I think it's that we weren't characters written by the writer of the book that had to get to the conclusions that needed
That's
to be.
fair. We had other things going on in our lives.
It's
true.
It's not stranger than fiction. We weren't just like, okay, well, I think that's a good enough clue anyways.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So the next set of drawings here. So we've got the drawing of the little girl with the spiky tree and the bird. We've got visions of the future, and now we have the smudged room. So Naomi, single mother, her young son Yuta draws a picture at daycare that unsettles his teacher. A view of their apartment with a heavy gray smear across their room. When asked if anything strange is happening at home, Naomi dismisses the concern. That night, they're followed home by a mysterious man in gray. Realizing she's led the stalker to their apartment, Naomi stays up almost all night watching the door. She finally succumbs to sleep, and when she awakens, Yuta is nowhere to be found.
Scary. This is a fear of mine. I don't know about you guys. Getting followed. What can you? Well, I guess it's different because we're guys, but even then, like,
even then it's scary. Can you imagine being a single young tiny mother? It'd be so much more terrifying. I'm 6'4" and I get scared when people follow me. Like, I can't even imagine.
I got followed one time, and it was the most terrifying 30 minutes of my life. It was probably not even 30 minutes, but it was terrifying. This weird little dude followed me on the train, and then when I was at my stop, and it was only the two of us on the train, and I went to the door, and he got up and was kind of milling about, and I was standing at the door at my stop just waiting, and like I was waiting to see if he'd go off, and then he didn't. And then, like, I kind of was just watching, and then I finally stepped off and just started kind of walking real fast. And then I turn around, and he's decided to get off all of a sudden on my stop. And so I was on the an upper platform too. So I ran down, and then I had these huge stairs that I had to get up to get to the street that my apartment was on. Sprinted up the stairs, and I just stood at the top waiting, like kind of like near the corner. And I just was staring down the stairs, and it's like middle of the night, and I look down, and I just see the dude around the corner and start coming up the stairs. And I've never run fast. It's terrifying.
That is scary. Do you think
I didn't
he was
draw any
actually
fucking
following
pictures
you?
about it though.
You think
Little did you know, he just wanted to sing to you. Thank you for letting me be myself by Sly and the Family Stone. That's all he wanted to do.
all he wanted to do, or
As
he was just,
as he danced in the blood of my body.
or he
The
just
blood of
wanted to
my
get off at the same stop as you and was indecisive, and he thought you were following him. I don't know.
You know what would be funny is if he was afraid that I was gonna jump him, but
What race was this guy?
isn't that he was white? He was a little white guy.
Yeah, so he was.
But he had a big bag on him.
Statistically, he was more afraid of you than you would be of him.
Well, I think
I'm just saying.
see.
Is
I
that
live out-
racist?
You keep calling him little.
Yeah, he's little. You're
Like
a
how
big
little
guy.
was he?
This was a couple years ago though. He was probably my same height but skinny.
Okay, that's scary. That's scary enough.
Yeah, and he had a
okay.
big bag with him.
That is scary because what's in
Ooh.
that bag? Chainsaws, bone
Knives.
saws.
But now that I have not thought about this, he was probably afraid that I was going to rob him.
See, and that's just
we were watching each other mutually assured destruction.
and that's just the problem in America. Just because there's a black young man on the train doesn't mean he's gonna rob you. And
He's probably more afraid of you than you are of him.
Yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair. Let's
I'm
get
glad-
into it.
I'm glad we got there.
I'm glad we got there. That
Well, I'm
actually
so
does
glad
sound
we
fair.
figured that out. We didn't even need you to draw a picture. We just figured it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
We got it.
See
We're
what
solving
happens
our
when you
own
just
mysteries.
talk about it
Yeah,
instead
if
of
you would
drawing
just talk
pictures?
to the people. Hey, Yuto, what are
Somewhere-
you feeling? Why'd you draw this picture
Somewhere-
like this?
Yeah. Is everything okay? He's like, no, I just was trying to erase something. They're like, okay.
Oh,
All
okay,
right.
my
Well, which ends up being true.
The whole thing.
Somewhere there's a gaunt, tall, skinny man with a black bag listening to the podcast like, oh, thank God. I thought that guy was going to kill me.
Which, I mean,
All
we
right,
could
so
probably
back
find him.
in-
We could find him.
Let's find him. That's the next thing to do. So Yuta's daycare teacher re-examines the drawing after Yuta goes missing and realized that he had tried to erase something, and that's where the smudge came from. It was a simple shape. First he drew a rectangle, then he drew a triangle at the top, smudged out the triangle, and then turned the rectangle into his apartment building, and it just coincidentally, his apartment happened to be under the smudge. But Naomi, so the teacher thinks that this is a picture of a ruler because the prompt was draw a picture of your mother. And he thinks that Naomi must be beating Yuta with a ruler, and which is a crazy leap.
Yeah. This
See,
is
this
a waste
is-
of
but
time.
then-
This is the part where McKellen's like, this daycare teacher has no business analyzing this drawing this much. She's
like,
just
hey,
lucky
lady,
if she's.
there's
yeah.
other kids.
Have you ever been to a daycare? You're lucky if you're not covered in shit when you leave. Like, that's not her primary concern. Her concern. Why is she diving so much into this photo? This
smudge.
This smudge.
Mind your
It's-
business.
mind your business.
Can you imagine if a daycare teacher called you and said, hey, your son drew a triangle. Are you beating him?
I'd be so mad. I'd
Oh,
be like, no.
I'm coming right into that daycare.
Yeah. Be like, I'm gonna come there not with a ruler, but with a yardstick. I'm gonna beat your ass with
Yeah.
it.
I wasn't
A
beating my
whole-ass
son, but I'm
yardstick.
beating you.
I'll beat you, you grown adult.
Yeah.
I wouldn't beat a grown adult if they were looking out for my son.
It'd be scary. It's retaliation. You got to worry about it. So this, yeah, it's a crazy leap. Naomi reacts as you would, maybe a little harsher, just really freaks the hell out and says, I would never would hurt Yuta. But now I know where he is. She realizes that what Yuta had been trying to draw was a gravestone, and the triangle was his attempt at writing kanji, which is Japanese lettering. But then he decided better of it. He got nervous, erased it, and drew the apartment. Yuta is at a cemetery. So she finds him at the cemetery, standing at a grave marked Yuki. It's then revealed that this is Yuta's birth mother's grave. As they leave the cemetery, we're given for the first time a visual description of Naomi, and it turns out this whole time she's been a very old woman.
Yeah, this whole section, the whole thing, she's getting chased by this guy, right? They have a stalker. Fascinating.
Yeah.
And that's like really, I'm on the edge of my seat. And then we stop down to have a daycare teacher redraw and go over multiple individual copies of this picture to find out what a character in the book already knows. So we spent time with somebody who doesn't know anything while Naomi just figures it out and goes and gets him. Because I was speed reading.
Well, no, because
She figured it out.
because the teacher said he originally drew this rectangle with a triangle in it.
So that
I
legend told her
missed
that's
that.
what it is.
That's how she knows. Now she found out. Oh, now I know where he
Oh,
is.
Yeah.
sorry, book. My bad.
This part of the book was awesome as you're getting these things revealed. That it's like, whoa, what the heck? He's got a different mom. We know his dad has died, but he's got a different mom. What the heck? So what's Naomi's role? And then we find out Naomi's an old woman, and then it just leaves it at that. And you're like, what the heck is going on? Yuki was the name of his mom. That was the name of the other lady. So at this point, you're just trying to figure it out. But it's coming to you in this really cool way. Thank you, creepy Uketsu, for displaying it this way, because I thought it was fascinating.
I don't know why I was so creeped out when I find out that she's old, because he really allows you to believe this is just a young mother.
Yeah.
And you feel bad for her. She's getting chewed out by her boss, and it just like somebody's following her. You're like, don't do this. I'm just like, leave this woman alone. And then she like looks in the mirror and she's like, she couldn't believe that she let people see her like this all day without her makeup on, looking like so old, much older than her 64 years or however it says it. And I was like, I don't know why that chilled me to the bone. I was like,
agree.
wait,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was disturbing.
It's like,
it's like
yeah.
I was just like,
He does
oh,
it
she's
well.
old.
no, I for some reason the reveal was crazy to me. It's not a crazy reveal, but it's just like no, she's just older than we thought. But the way it's portrayed, like it's scary. It's like what the heck? That doesn't seem right.
It's like a twist.
You just, and old women can raise kids.
Yeah.
That's not scary. What's scary is like all the assumptions that you have made. You're like, wait, something's wrong with this family. Like Yuta's not her son. Like the birth mother is Yuki, and then there's the old woman that was pulling the baby out, and immediately I'm like, wait, is she? What's happening
Yeah.
here?
I did feel that, and then
yeah.
I definitely, when I found out she was old, I just went back and I was like, I've missed something. Like obviously
that was by design.
I was like, oh, I missed the part where they described her earlier at the beginning of the chapter.
It's clever that one of the scariest parts of the book is you find out someone is old because that's not conventionally scary. Like you said, there's nothing wrong with old people raising, like that's fine. But when you find out, you're like, oh, that's so wrong that this lady is old. How dare she? But you don't know why.
Well, it's because the book has made you afraid of old people pretty early on. But I do think that is because she's ripping a baby out of someone.
It primed you,
Yeah, it primed us. But I do think that actually is one of the truest horrors of life, is I bet there's a lot of people that just one day look in the mirror and they're like, oh, God, I'm old.
And that chills you to the bone.
It chills them to the bone.
Yeah, the more we talk about this book, the more I realize how much I liked the writing and how good the writing is. I wish I knew more about the author other than he's some creepy masked YouTuber, but I don't know. It's good.
It's kind of fun though.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope this guy. I actually did buy the sequel, Strange Houses,
Interesting.
which is
No.
It's the same. This sounds like an SNL sketch.
No.
It's the same thing, but it's floor plans
Oh, okay.
instead of drawings.
Maybe
He
not
could-
as clever as I thought.
He was stretching to make the pictures make sense. What the hell is he gonna? Is it a foreman? Is just like, I think something's wrong with the plan that we have for the house.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. It sounds like a bit. I opened it and I read the first couple pages, and like the first floor plan, there's like this weird space in the house where it doesn't make sense for there to be just empty space. And I started feeling that spooky. I was like, what's in the wall? Well, like, what? There's something in the wall.
People
So,
love
he
puzzles.
got me.
Yeah. I mean, the autism turns on every now and again, doesn't it?
It really just
that is spooky.
those gears start spinning, dude.
If I had a spare room in my house, I would use it to hide food that I shouldn't be eating. Like not like junk food. I'm talking about like radioactive. No human being should be eating this kind of food, and I would hide it so no one could see that I'm eating things that shouldn't be eaten.
I can't wait.
In this-
I can't wait for the video or like the news report that like you've been killed by cops because they thought that you were hiding bodies and you were a serial killer. And they're like, oh, he's just eating batteries.
He's just like that's not illegal.
Bummer. We really misjudged that
Oh
situation.
man, that serial killer's still out there. We can't find that little girl, but this guy.
She's
But
unrelated.
at least this guy's not eating batteries in secret anymore.
That's true. Sort of saved him from himself if you think about it. All right, skipping in time. We're skipping backwards quite a bit. So remember, all this happened in 2014. We're back in 1992. Teacher Yoshiharu Miura is found brutally murdered on a mountain trail. Brutally is correct.
Is very
He's really
violently
bashed
murdered.
up, unrecognizable. The only clue is a sketch of a sunlit landscape drawn on the back of a receipt found with the body.
Here we go.
Police believe the sketch was made just before his death, pointing to a crime of passion. But the strange brutality of the killing and what wasn't taken leaves unanswered questions.
And at this point, I'm wondering, is there a pattern? Because every time there's a clue, it's a picture. Is that the theme of the book?
Well,
No, it's just
yeah,
stepped up.
apparently.
But it's like they set up this murder, and then it's like the only clue, a picture. We're like, yeah, we get that now. Like
Yeah.
we understand that that's what this book is.
Well, part of me was like, you don't have to stick to the picture thing that much. You got us. Like, you already did it.
Yeah, you got us. You got us hooked on this brutal murder, and we don't know what happened. Like,
Yeah,
you
and you
don't need
did
to throw.
you did all the pictures before. You've done 3 pictures that were interesting. I don't need
I don't
the
need
new
another
picture.
photo.
And it's so dumb. The reason for this picture is so stupid.
Yeah, this one actually.
don't
The other
you-
ones carried a lot of weight.
This one made no sense. I guess I call it stupid because it just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I actually agree with that one. Evan?
Yeah, this one's a stretch. So there are some unanswered questions here. Young journalist Shunsuke Iwata reopens the case years later. So he became a journalist, or tried to become a journalist, because he wanted to understand what happened to his art teacher. His art teacher was one of the only people to like be kind to him, and he kind of like mentored him. And so he wants to know what happened. He is working under his mentor, Isamu Kamai, who is jaded. He's an ex-reporter. He kind of got fired after he got sick, and so he's just like, he's grumpy. But while retracing Miura's steps, Iwata notices that the landscape in Miura's drawing couldn't have been visible at the presumed time of death because of the sun's angle. It was all backlit, but there are details in the drawing that would suggest that the mountains were lit from the front. So he realized he couldn't have been killed at the time that was presumed, and he decides the message of the sketch must be, I was alive in the morning. So there's a couple of suspects. There's like 3 suspects, and 2 of them have alibis because of the time of death. But those 2 alibis suddenly go away if you assume, hey, this was drawn in the morning. Just as Iwata begins pulling the pieces together, he too is murdered on the same trail in nearly identical fashion, leaving Kamai, his mentor, haunted and determined to uncover the truth.
All right,
we
first
talk
things first.
No, please, Mikhail.
Yeah, no, Kyle, you go. Yours is
Well,
gonna be more
can we
positive.
talk about the way these people are murdered? Because it's gross and it's brutal.
Yeah, let's
let's
talk
get
about
into
it.
My under-
The time of death.
Yeah.
The reason why it is what it is because the only piece of evidence that would suggest the time of death is partially digested food found in the stomach. So they figure, okay, this is his lunch, so he had to, and it stopped digesting at this time. So that puts us at the time of death.
But these people are beaten so badly beyond recognition. The only thing that they can identify when this happened was their stomach contents, because they're just bashed to pieces. And then they find, identifying information. That's how they find out who it actually is. But they're just like, it's like someone took a rock and just for like a few hours just bashed their faces and their body in to make them completely unrecognizable. It's gross and it's spooky and it's disturbing.
Why aren't these guys cops?
That's a really good question. These guys would be
Truly.
Everything about their story, I'll be honest with you, I thought that they were cops.
It seems more like a job.
You're learning now that they were researchers, like journalists.
Yeah, okay, to be fair, I read this book in a grand total of like 3.5, 4-ish hours. So I missed some stuff. And to find out that they're reporters, why is there an old grizzled report? Every single piece of this setup and the way they behave, it's like somebody just put the wrong. Do we not know the American, like, is the Japanese word for cop different? And so they fucked it up? Like,
it's reporter.
Yeah, it very much seems like they're detectives. You're right. Like, none of this seems like something a reporter would do. It just seems like they're really good detectives, but no, they want to be reporters because I don't know.
Why would they reopen the case? Well, you can't reopen a case. You just start researching it. You're not reopening anything.
Technically, yeah, nothing was reopened.
You're just looking into something. I just decided that this would be my story now. That's what you say. That's it. You're not a cop.
That is true. That is exactly what he does. So what he realizes, though, and this is sort of like the unsettling part, is he realizes that the time of death that was discovered basically by the undigested food, he's like, oh, the murderer must have force-fed this person, like, and then made him wait a couple of hours before killing him, just because he eats the same thing every day. He ate these little like bento boxes, which are really good. I don't know why we don't eat them in America more. It's an ideal lunch.
Oh my god,
it's the best lunch, but he eats one every day, and so the murderer must have known that, force-fed him to make it look like he was killed at a certain time. So my question wasn't like, how come everybody in this book is a psychoanalyst analyzing drawings? My question was, how come this murder is a forensic psychologist? Like, they know exactly how to erase their identity and how to make it look like the alibi is pretty contrived.
Yeah,
I
it
was
is.
like, man, this person really thought this through.
Also,
there's writerly shit happening all over this, where it's like, this is a writer who came up with a cool thing, and then you're writing your way out of it so hard.
I kept thinking the suffering these two must have endured, because they obviously get them to a point where they can't move the murderer. So the victim is somehow incapacitated, and then they're force fed, and then presumably like maybe tortured until this death is actually allowed, until they're like, okay, now I can kill you, so the food processes correctly. It's a really gross, brutal way to go. So you're like, only a terrible, terrible human being could do such a thing to these two individuals. And guess what? You're right.
Yeah.
You are correct. One crucial detail about the drawings, the they were both tied up in their sleeping bags at the time of death. So the murderer like bound the sleeping bags so they couldn't move, couldn't get their arms out. So the art teacher, all he had was a receipt in his pocket that he could reach, and then he folded it up in a grid pattern so he could feel it. So then he could draw the landscape, basically saying, "Hey, I was here in the morning." So it's like a whole.
It seems dumb, but
Because
then
it's
it's
so
like,
ridiculous. What
it
the
is
fuck
ridiculous.
What are we talking about?
But you're like, well, why didn't he just write, "Hey, this is the person who killed me, and this is why they did"? Because the
Yeah,
murderer
why would I
would have,
draw a landscape?
because the murderer would have found it and taken it. So it was inconspicuous enough that the murderer didn't think anything of it. They're like, oh, it's just a drawing, whatever. It's not going to be important. So it makes sense why they drew that. P.S. I'm never going camping again. If someone can just tie you up,
You
force
shouldn't.
feed you, and beat you
In your
beyond
sleep?
recognition, that's not cool.
Here's the thing
Maybe
about
imagine-
camping. People die out there all the time.
All the time.
In my adult life, I'm like, how did people take the amount of time I spent in the woods as a child with adults, it was safe, and everybody's like, yeah, this is fun, we're having a good time. So many people just
I think I'm just never using a sleeping bag again, because that just seems irresponsible at this point. We should use
You're just sort of binding yourself.
yeah, you're binding yourself. You're doing the work for them. Just use like wolf skins, bison skins, like they did back in the day. That's what I would do.
yeah, let me tie myself up so one of my neighbors who decided to ask me to come out here can murder me.
Yeah.
very easily.
Force
Yeah,
feed
And
Yeah,
while they're
that's no
murdering
problem.
me, I'm gonna draw in the dark on a grid system a picture that people are going to look at and be like, well, obviously he didn't know where the light was coming from.
Yeah, come on. A little contrived.
You. This is. I'm sad about it because this is the story where you just gotta go
You
with
gotta
it.
suspend some belief.
I liked this book a lot
So-
more an hour ago.
Yeah. All right. So, the final pieces sort of fall into place at this point. So at this point, this is where I like paused and tried to boxcar children the book, and I was like, but I couldn't do it. I was like, well, I don't understand. I get that they're all related somehow, but I can't
Because
draw
it's
the
bad. It's
line through
bad
it.
clues. We have bad clues. This is the issue.
At this point, though, I was quite intrigued. I was like, okay, I need to know what's going on here. So the author then takes the rest of the book to lay it out and tell the story again, but with the gaps filled in. So Naomi's presence across all four stories becomes startlingly clear. Naomi was the girl in the psychologist case study. And for the listeners, Naomi is the older woman who's caring for Yuta. That's his, like, mama. So she was the girl in the psychologist case study who killed her abusive mother to protect a small bird, an act that appeared brutal but was deeply rooted in a fierce protective love. She had to save the bird. And the mom is crazy in the story.
It's
Yeah.
not. I mean,
But believed to be, she had a bad... Go ahead,
no,
Kyle.
yeah. I mean, little Naomi had a bad go of things. Like,
Yeah.
it's sad that she killed her mom, but the mom had it coming. The mom sucked.
Yeah. So believed to be rehabilitated by nurturing her maternal instincts, Naomi built a life around that role. She became a midwife, she married the stern but loving art teacher, Yoshiharu Miura, and tried to build a stable home. But while raising her son, Haruto, Miura's harsh, disciplined style awakened her protective instinct and compelled her to act. So, unable to risk losing custody of Haruto because of her violent past, she knew if she filed for divorce, they wouldn't give her custody because of the violence. She murdered Miura on a remote mountain trail. So
I'm too violent.
Miura-
I'm too violent to take care of my son. They won't let me do it legally, so murder. I'll murder.
Well, she-
yeah.
Murder.
Yeah,
They should
well,
take your
she-
son away.
She hasn't even told Miura that she killed her mom. She's not like, hey, I stepped on my mom's neck and killed her when I was a kid. So she's like, if my secret comes out, they probably will take away my kid, because that's kind of a dark mark on someone's record.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, that's
You
I
get
would.
past it.
Yeah. So Miura is not like beating him,
No.
but he's hitting him. He's got like a spare the rod, spoil the child kind of an
But
attitude
what
with discipline.
what dad in 1990s Japan isn't hitting their kid?
Just
Like-
one time. Just give him a,
It's a good question that I don't know the
I
answer
would
to.
assume it's most dads at this point hitting their kids. I hope it's not the case anymore, but like Japan is known for being a little strict. I mean, did you watch that freaking Shogun show? They stabbed themselves in the belly just because they walked wrong.
that was the 1700s, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's quite a leap. 1700s from 1994.
Those are samurai.
Yeah,
had to be
I mean, if we
said, right?
follow
Based
that
on-
logic, I think I can't be on this podcast anymore.
Okay, you're
Based
right.
on the show Shogun, it was pretty common to beat your kids at this time.
I'm-
Okay. So she
love
does though, like just watching him get hit at all just awakens the monster. She decides she has to kill him, so she does. So Miura, while it's happening, understands why she's doing it and feels betrayed, but wants to protect her and his son despite her betrayal. So he sketches a landscape inside of his sleeping bag, a dying message of "I was here in the morning" that disguised the time of death. Well, actually, okay.
That's
Dang
Naomi's
it, I
thoughts.
like tied myself in a knot. He draws a picture of the landscape to obscure his time of death and give Naomi an alibi, because people would say he had to have seen the landscape, but this murder happened in the dark. The point is he'd seen the landscape so many times that he could draw it by memory. And so Naomi
Not that
finds
well,
this
apparently.
drawing.
2 journalists figured it out.
Two very, very dedicated journalists. More dedicated. Like, imagine Lois Lane on steroids. That's what these guys are.
Wow. I'm imagining that and
Kind of hot, isn't it?
I'm not hating what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So, yeah, she finds it. So Naomi finds the drawing, and tears come to her eyes because she realizes, like, he was stern, but he did love us. And so the alibi, however, had a couple problems. First, there was a witness who was content to blackmail Naomi instead of report her. And then second is the reporter. She didn't expect somebody to retrace every single step on the exact day that it happened.
Oh no,
and figure it
somebody's
out.
looking
So-
into this?
Into my murder? Oh, man.
Oh,
Who'd have thought?
shoot. I never thought somebody was going to care.
So Naomi, she finds out that he's going to go retrace Miura's steps and then goes and kills him in the same way 3 years later. And then she travels to the blackmailer's apartment, killing him and leaving a suicide note confessing to the 2 other murders. So she thinks at this point she's closed the loop.
Yeah, and man, the blackmailer sucks. He was her buddy. He was her husband's buddy, and he tells her, he's like, hey, basically, if you don't let me rape you, I'm gonna tell people that you killed your husband. So she's kind of living in this hell, and so I'm really glad that she killed this guy. I'm like, good, this guy deserved to die more than almost anyone else in this book. But so yeah, she ties up all her loose ends. She kills the little reporter boy in a terrible way, and then she kills this other bastard man, and no one cares because he sucks. But you think she's in the clear at this point.
There's no reporters
Yes.
anymore to really.
All the reporters are dead.
Who's going to do the law enforcement?
Who's going to enforce the law
Who's gonna solve
of
murders?
Japan? The reporters are all gone.
The reporters are
I'll
gone.
tell you who will enforce the law: the Shogun.
Yeah, well, that's the issue. Is the Shogun? They all died, and now it's just the reporters. There's no more law.
Yeah, Naomi killed the last of the Shogun. They were beating up too many
Yeah.
kids.
They were mean
He's
to
like, I
their
don't
kid.
like that dude.
Stop making him learn swordplay. Step, step, beat, 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 beat. As she's beating him. Draw out a picture for me. Because everybody's a fucking artist.
Everyone is an artist. everyone sucks.
Everybody's an artist.
And as we think about this, just a point I want to make. A woman that marries into the family just so happens to also be an artist. Naomi and Haruto, neither of them are artists, but they are just drawn to artists, which is their undoing. I just want to point that out.
Well, I wasn't gonna go into this, but it's a little, it gets a little weird, it gets a little freaky because Yuki was Miura's student and she had a little hot
Oh
for
fuck!
teacher
I
thing.
Yeah.
She's older. Oh yeah.
So I originally
Oh,
thought
I forgot
maybe
about that.
that's why Naomi killed him is because he was like flirting with Yuki, his student. But no, he wasn't. He was a good husband, albeit strict and boring. Um, but you know, he didn't do anything terrible. So yeah, it is interesting that Yuki was his student. Like, what are the chances?
Yeah. Years later, Haruto and Yuki meet up, and Yuki also falls in love with him. But then she makes it clear she's like, "Oh, I'm not with Haruto just because I'm thinking about Yoshiharu."
I'm not.
Anyways,
She's
it's
like,
like this whole.
I'm
not
not with.
It's
I'm not with
complicated.
Haruto just because I was attracted to his dad as a teenager. She makes
Which-
that very clear, and it's like you didn't need to say that.
Now we think it is.
Now I
what's
think that's
happening.
exactly why you're
That's just-
attracted to his son.
Definitely what is happening. Is it not? I think I might be mixing it up. Is it not? Is it Haruto the one that is looking a lot like his father?
Yeah,
He does
looks
look
a ton
like
like
his
his dad.
father. Yeah.
Yuki's a freak. Yeah, that's
Just saying.
yeah.
So she becomes pregnant after they get Haruto and her get married.
It's not a child out of
and
wedlock. Don't worry. Like
Naomi's-
they were married. Like
Don't
it's
worry.
okay that they got pregnant.
Is
I
that,
didn't want you guys.
that's the part you think our listeners are
Yeah,
worried
Yeah.
about?
Is it a bastard?
I just wanted to make sure
Wait,
you
is
guys
this some
know.
kind of fornication
It's not
situation?
fornication. In the eyes of the law, when they got pregnant, it was acceptable, and I think I want to point that out because I think
Yeah.
people will be concerned about that. Not
I
the
think-
murderers.
Did you say in the eyes of the law? This doesn't happen in the 1700s.
In the eyes of the law,
The reporters are okay with this.
the reporters gave it the okay, so it's fine that
They
they
let
got
it
pregnant
slide.
because they were legally married. I just want to make that clear.
Thank
Okay.
you, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle. This is a sanctioned
When
child.
you pictured this
Okay.
book in your head, what time period was it based in? Because I know it says what time period, but what were you thinking?
Okay, so Yuki becomes pregnant. Naomi's protective instincts are twisted again. Because she's the midwife in charge of Yuki, she noticed signs of a breech birth and high blood pressure. But instead of urging caution, so breech is when the baby's upside
Yeah,
down.
some of the babies
There
upside
we go.
down.
Little education moment there for you.
Welcome, listeners.
So instead of urging caution, though, she quietly exacerbated the risks by feeding Yuki salt pills under the guise of supplements. It's not overt murder, but a calculated gamble that Naomi fantasized might allow her to claim a more central role in the child's life. So Yuki realizes what's happening and tries to leave a warning in her drawings, which Haruto would decipher 3 years later. She does this because she feels like no one will believe me if I say this. Haruto loves his mother way too much. They're way too close. She feels like she can't go to the cops or the reporters, whatever, because it's Naomi's word against hers, and Naomi is a midwife. So she's like already faked all the medical records and stuff, so she would just look crazy. So she tries to leave these drawings just in case she dies. Somebody can figure out what happened. Haruto does decipher the drawings 3 years later. Torn between his love for his mother and his anger at her betrayal, Haruto falls into despair, writes his final cryptic blog post, and takes his own life, leaving a grief-stricken Naomi to raise Yuta on her own.
So mean. It's so effed up what she does to Yuki. She doesn't even dislike Yuki. She likes Yuki, but she's like, I want to be a mom. I want to be a mom again. So I'm gonna kill this sweet little art girl by giving her salt pills. Pregnancy's hard enough, and she makes it worse. And then she straight up dies. Like it's terrible. Like Naomi was almost sympathetic up until this point. To some, I mean, when she burned her husband and the report. No, that wasn't cool at all. This one,
She's kind of
no,
been a
she's
monster.
been a monster. But this one, I'm like, Yuki. Yuki is such a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart, and you killed her so you could take her child. That's wrong. It's objectively wrong.
I just want everybody to think, just if you're ever in a situation where it seems like nobody will believe you and everything's against you, but your life's on the line, I guess if you're in Japan, tell a reporter, but tell a cop. Tell somebody, because like it's better to sit. I had this thought. We went and saw Mission Impossible, and there was this kid sitting next to us, and he's fussing with his bag, and he's being super creepy. And I just kept having this thought. I was like, I would rather be a dick, and people think that I was being a little paranoid and crazy, than get stabbed to death. Like I think it's just I think it's a better option to people think you're crazy and you might be wrong. I would rather find out, oh, okay, I'm a little crazy, than find out, oh, I was right, and die. You know?
Yeah, it taught me that it's okay to be paranoid. because some stuff could have been prevented had you just not drawn a picture and taken some actionable items.
Used your words, written it in a small book, and given it to Haruto, giving
but
all the
Kylie,
evidence.
Pictures are worth 1,000 words. How could you write 1,000 words? You could just draw one vague picture. You don't get it.
We're finding out pictures are not worth 1,000 words because everybody's finding things out way after the fact, after everybody's been murdered.
After everyone's dead, way too late.
It would be a shorter, happier book if it was called Clear Notes.
My life is in danger. This is what's happening.
Please, someone help me.
Yeah, my mother-in-law might be poisoning
Let me
me.
lay it out.
If she's not, I'm sorry, but I'm a pregnant woman who's a little paranoid, and you can forgive that, which we can.
Exactly. So, let's get back to Naomi being followed by the man in gray. So Isamu Kamai, the mentor of the other journalist who's been killed, is haunted by Iwata's death, that journalist. He becomes increasingly convinced that Naomi is responsible for the string of murders. It takes him quite a bit longer. It's like 20 years have passed, and he's like, oh, those pictures, he gets
The most
it.
realistic
So he
part,
starts to follow.
is he doesn't get it right away. It takes him a normal human being's
Yeah, he's like
to-
us.
It takes him a long
He's
time.
not like, the light is wrong on this photo.
Exactly. So he follows her in secret and becomes the mysterious man in gray who looms over Naomi and Yuta just out of sight. His quiet presence was not a threat, but an on-purpose, super creepy provocation, a calculated attempt to provoke Naomi's defensive violence and catch her in the act because the statute of limitations is almost passed. And so he's like, there's not enough evidence to like make an arrest. This would just be a wild accusation. Basically, I have to get her to do something murderous so that they can. It's just entrapment. But you got to do what you got to do when you're a law enforcing reporter and you got to bring down the bad guys.
He's a reporter.
He's just a cop reporter.
So, just a simple man. His gamble works. She finally strikes and stabs him. He survives the attack, and police are waiting just beyond. They step in to bring her to justice.
Nice. She's finally in jail. She's finally caught. Justice is served.
The other reporters shuffle in with their trench coats and notepads and are like, you're under arrest.
She's like, do you have a gun? Do you have a baton at least? They're like, no, but we got a pen and paper for the school.
I'm going to get this story, you see? I'm recording everything.
It's like, I just killed a man. What do you...
You're coming with us, eh? So with Naomi in custody, the investigation into Miura's murder is reopened and her string of crimes is finally acknowledged. Kamai, recovering in the hospital, shares a room with Shuhei from the beginning, the college kid that figured out the pictures. They exchange findings. They're in the hospital together, and Kamai realizes, oh, there was another person killed. It was Yuki, and there's a child involved here. So he realizes that his vigilante justice left Haruto's son, Yuta, all alone. Shuhei convinces Kamai to adopt Yuta and ensure the boy grows up in a safe, nurturing home to end the cycle of abuse once and
Which
for
is
all.
sweet, but I'm like, isn't there paperwork to fill out? You can't just be like, hey, this boy doesn't have a parent. I'm going to be the parent. I feel like there's more...
He does do,
Yeah,
the
you can do the
paperwork.
paperwork.
It talks about
Oh, okay,
the-
he does do it because I'm like, just because some college kid says you should be his dad doesn't mean you could just be his dad all of a sudden.
I do feel like whatever organized like body that makes these decisions, if you were to walk in and be like, well, his grandmother stabbed me because she killed a bunch of people and now I feel like I should take care of the kid, they'd be like,
Yeah,
slow down.
seriously.
Start at step one.
How about no,
Kev, can you take care of
Yeah,
a child?
Can you take care of a child at all? I mean, you're an old man. So
How does that kid tell his life story? It's like, who's this? Well, it's my adopted dad. I know he's 70, but the thing is, my murderous grandma, who was my mom, stabbed him, so it makes sense. People are like, no. Nothing about your life makes sense.
Yeah, well, I couldn't be with my parents because my grandma killed my mom and then my dad killed himself.
and also my grandma killed my grandpa until she stabbed the guy, and now he's my dad. And it's like, you're gonna have a rough life, bro.
He's like, look at this picture I drew. It's Marilyn Manson.
It's Marilyn Manson. You're like, why is he missing a rib? It's like, man, you're gonna make so much money in therapy. Like, you're just
Therapists just can't wait when they
Therapists,
see you.
they're gonna see this kid come in and be
Yeah.
like, hell yeah.
Okay. So Strange Pictures is a haunting meditation on the dual nature of care. how love, when twisted by trauma, can become controlling, possessive, even lethal. In the end, the psychologist who once believed Naomi could be rehabilitated by nurturing her maternal instincts reflects on her early conclusion with doubt, wondering if her efforts to cultivate Naomi's maternal instincts inadvertently turned her into the monster she became. She wonders if Naomi were to draw the same tree again, the one with the sharp branches that she said revealed a violent nature, but were meant to shelter a fragile bird, how gnarled, distorted, and predatory would the branches look after all these years?
They look pretty bad because she
Yeah.
killed like a bunch of people. We're like, why were you even wondering that? We know, like, you know that she murdered people.
That's a fucked up tree.
Yeah.
That's such a psychologist thing to do. Just be like, I wonder, as opposed to just taking responsibility and being like, I should, I have a direct role in this. I need to shut down what I'm doing. I need to stop teaching people how to look at paintings, and just realize that sometimes when a little woman kills her mom, we just need to work with her feelings and not make her love this bird that she's protecting because she drew it in a picture. You dumb, stupid idiot.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? It is your fault. You just let this. Put her somewhere. Put her in a home. She needs to be actually rehabilitated, not just like, oh, you should. But you have so much love in you. Your love is what made you bad. That's not helpful. That's just.
The ego on this psychologist to be like, I wonder if I contribute to this, and like Mikhail said, yes, you did. You're culpable in a lot of ways. Like, what do you mean? You wonder? You told her to be more caring, and she ended up killing a bunch of people. You stupid idiot.
Yeah, she's over here wondering about it. Don't wonder, you ass. Go give that boy some money.
Go give that boy
killed
some
his
money,
family.
and then you know what?
Go fund
her, and then go commit seppuku. Okay, you know what? Go do it. What year are we in again?
2023.
Not the 1700s.
I think she should.
None of these people are samurai.
It'd be a lot cooler if they were.
It's true.
Agreed. Yes, you are right about that. This is okay. The interesting part to me is I think it makes sense because we think of it's like The Lathe of Heaven. I have not been able to get that book out of my head since we read it, and it's like changed everything I think about how I view morality. But the reason why it's easy to nurture like loving, mothering, those kind of instincts and like taking care of things is because they're just classically portrayed as good things. And it's ignored that is a double-edged sword. You can love so much that you like go to war, and then you have the Trojan War, and then there's just like well, okay, that was a stupid example because it's not true, but you can like people do violent things. I think it's easy to be like, oh, I like fostered her love, and then you look back and you're like, ooh, you know what? Actually, abuse leaves its marks and is gonna get out as violence down the line, regardless of how we choose to like couch it. You know,
it's because she's not teaching her that. She's not teaching her right and wrong. She's just saying she like is doing the opposite, and she's taking right and wrong out of it and being like, but you're protecting. And she's not teaching her morals at all. And she's just like, well, you did a bad thing, but it was to protect, which is good. And she's trying to make her feel bad, which is bad. You should feel bad. You murdered your mom. You should feel like fucking shit and think you're a monster for a little bit.
You're safe now, though.
You're safe now. You thought you had to do a thing that was horrible. You shouldn't have to do horrible things, no matter why. There's no good reason to have to do horrible things. So don't do horrible things. Horrible things are bad.
No, but she had to. She was like in debt. Like her mom was
gonna kill her bird.
Yeah, acknowledge that you had to do it, but that was wrong.
But you know, in hindsight, this was like so the psychologist who saw her has to be super old because Naomi's an old woman now, and like psychology has changed so much since then. I'm surprised they didn't just be like, oh, she killed her mom, shock therapy, because it's kind of changed a lot since then.
Well, that was done in like the 60s, right?
Yeah, so like maybe I want to give this. She doesn't have to commit seppuku. Maybe give her more benefit of the doubt.
No, she still does.
The science has evolved, and we now realize that you need to treat trauma and not just give someone a cat and tell them to pet it until they're nice enough.
I think even treating trauma though, like I think they kind of sort of tried to, like the message that I got wasn't like, I think we praise people that have overcome a lot of things, and rightfully so, if they've like turned their lives around and whatever, but sometimes we praise like, oh, even though these horrible things happen and you want to kill people, you don't. And it's like, that's great. But the the message I got was like, we need to treat kids well. You know,
Yeah.
like let's not, because even if you leave a scar like that on a kid, I don't even know if any amount of nurturing the good things about Naomi really like are able to fix her
Initial wound.
like
Yeah.
violence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like her mom fucked up. Anyways, that was the message I got. I was like, we gotta treat kids better. We gotta like make sure kids are okay, because if you can get through those formative times and feel safe, there's just so many murders that would be avoided.
Yeah.
When you make the world a better place for kids to live, I think you make the world a better place. I think that's the primary way that you do it. Anyways, that's my soapbox
I
of the
appreciate
day.
it.
Be good to your
Good to your
kids.
kids.
Yep. Well, what did we think of the book, gentlemen? Book in one word. Actually, let's start with read it yourself or leave it on the shelf. I'm interested in what you guys think. I'm a read it yourself. I had a good time with this book. It was a fun
Yeah,
read.
I'd say read it yourself. Is very good. It was Evan read it fast, and I thought overachiever, but then I started reading it. I'm like, oh no, it's good. You wanna figure it out. It's really good. So I'd read it yourself.
I say read it yourself.
Or reluctant, read it yourself.
I think that my biggest thing with it is like it feels really deep and interesting, and it reads really easily. But at the end of the day, like it's like a really fancy cocktail where you're just like, ooh, that was crazy, but it's just $15 that you're never gonna get back, and it didn't really. You could have just had like a gin and tonic and had the same effect, but you know, it's great. It's do your thing, whatever. It's a good episode of NCIS, like Evan said.
Yeah, and
I do appreciate that the person who made it. It's an interesting hook for a book, and it's interestingly written out.
Yeah, maybe I don't read enough mysteries, but like it felt very original to me, and that was nice.
Yeah.
In the world we live in, something that is fresh and original, that was cool. The problem is I looked this dude up on YouTube after, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know how to feel about this anymore. This is so
problem.
weird.
Actually,
He's a
I
weird
will
guy.
give a caveat separate from that. I do appreciate that this book actually does get fucked up, because I hate when mystery stuff. Like I watched Sirens the other day, and it was so good, and all the cast is so good. It looks great. But then, like, the actual mystery is kind of just like, oh, these people are weird. I like it when if you're gonna be a mystery, at the end of it, it's crazy. Like, I love too many shows and books and stuff will be like, ooh, it's super mysterious. It's like they'll just do something like a cop out like that, and I'm like, I like that it was like, no, she was a monster. Like she was going hard. I appreciated that.
You want girl with the dragon tattoo.
Yeah.
You want to get to the end and be like, holy shit.
Like I want it to be like, God damn. You want to go through a journey.
Mac, how would you wrap that all up into one word?
Satisfying. It was satisfying.
Okay.
Tantalizing.
Kyle? Ooh. I think it was gripping.
Gripping. That's a good one.
Actually, I want to change my word from satisfying. What's a word that means like enough? Like it's enough.
Fine.
Well, there's got to be a better one.
Book was fine.
Yeah, fine. It was
fine. Okay. Alrighty. Well, another book in the books. Thank you to Uketsu. Thank you to Uketsu. Thank you for being weird. It makes the book more fun.
Yeah.
I hope no one ever figures out who you are. I hope that you sit in your house knowing you're Uketsu, but nobody else knows, and you look at your weird mask and like body sock in the closet and go, man, this is a fun fake life that I'm living online, and keep writing books. I'm going to read Strange Houses. I think it was a lot of fun. More people should have anonymous, spooky ghost personalities online.
I agree.
No, I completely disagree. I think no. I hard disagree. No. All the amount of douchebags online that say whatever they want because they know it's anonymous. No, you should have to. If you say something, you should have to have somebody that can come up to you and be like, "Hey, remember that time you said that thing?"
Okay, yeah.
I'm not talking about trolls on 4chan. I'm talking like be a ghost on YouTube. And don't come in and like say controversial like political stuff. I just want you to be a weird ghost and write fun mysteries. I'm okay with that. Well, thank you.
If you're going to be mysterious.
Thank you as well. Oh, God damn it.
Sorry,
go ahead.
I said be silly if you're going to be mysterious.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you're going to be mysterious, make it funny. Don't be mysterious and also be trying to like change the world. That's great.
Seriously, just be silly.
Stop doing that. Well, thank you to Honey Bunches of Oats for sponsoring the podcast. Follow us on Instagram at BibliaFools, online at BibliaFools.com. If you have a book request, email us at BibliaFools@gmail.com. And follow the show on Spotify. That's probably the number one thing that would help us out if that's what you want to do. If you don't want to help us out,
It's fine.
it's fine. Just live your life. Parting advice. Here's my advice. Be good to your kids. I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Make the world a good place for kids. That's about the best thing you can do, I think. It's hard to know who's really doing good in the world. As Lathe of Heaven taught us, there's downstream consequences you can't predict. I think it's pretty safe to say, be good to kids. And that's a good thing to do. Okay, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.